And welcome back to Metropole Sports Center. My name is Nashon Owano. As I promised in the first part of the show, we are going to be talking about matters Champions League, the UEFA Europa League, and also the NBA. Now, first things first, some of the activities that took place in the course of the week with relation to Champions League. The following games were played in the course of the week. That is Liverpool versus RB Leipzig, Barcelona versus PSG, and then Sevilla versus Borussia Dortmund, and Porto versus Juventus. Liverpool versus RB Leipzig, the game ended 2-0 in favor of Liverpool, who are in a tough competition to try and come back to their winning ways. You remember they've really struggled in the past couple of matches in the English Premier League, which has put their title defense in question, with Manchester City looking in good position to take the cup at the end of this season. But there's been a conversation about whether Liverpool are going to be coming back to their winning ways. They've already shown great performance in the Champions League, so let's hope that they're going to replicate that particular performance in the English Premier League. Struggling side, that is Barcelona, was beaten by PSG 4-1. The key goals by PSG was scored by Kylian Mbappe, who scored a hat-trick, and the last goal was scored by Keane. This basically, if you're following the show last week when you're talking about the woes of Barcelona, puts the current manager, that is Anthony Koeman, in a compromising position in terms of whether he's going to continue his leadership at the helm of Barcelona. Away from that, Sevilla versus Borussia Dortmund, the game ended 3-2 in favor of Borussia Dortmund. Key goals were scored by Erling Haaland, who actually made a couple of records in the Champions League by equaling goals that total of 15 goals, cancelling or equaling the goals that have been scored by Ruud van Nistelrooy and Roberto Soldado in the UEFA Champions League competition. And the final game that was played, that was Porto versus Juventus. The game ended 2-1 in favor of Juventus. Just before we talk about the results of the UEFA Europa League, I want to bring in our guest at the moment, Zedekia. Thank you for finding time to come to Metropole Sports Center.
Thank you for hosting me. And I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Now, the last time we were here, we were talking matters basketball, and coincidentally, it was a year, actually the same time as this last year. Maybe you can bring us up to speed with what you've been through, you've been up to since the last time that you're on the show.
A lot has changed since last year that we were on show. Because of COVID, basketball stopped, both locally and internationally. Some of the leagues are trying to resume. NBA resumed. They went into a bubble. In Disneyland, they concluded the NBA, that is the 2020 season. Now the 2021 season has started. A lot of mixed results in terms of expectations, in terms of what we thought the league would look like. Some of the teams are playing away from home because of the travel restrictions, because of COVID and everything. So quite a mix in terms of the results that we expected, because you expected other teams to dominate the league. They're not doing that. They're losing games. You expect teams to pick points on the road or at home because there are no fans. There's no the fan backing from home and stuff. So teams are really, really struggling.
Okay. Just before we delve deeply into the matter of the day, that is with relation to basketball, which you've mentioned, I just wanted us to share our reflections with regards to the Champions League fixtures that were played early this week. There's a game that is Liverpool versus RB Leipzig. Did you expect that performance from Liverpool?
Yes, Liverpool. It is a good side. Jurgen Klopp is doing a very, very good job, despite the injuries that they've had over the past season. The first one losing Van Dijk. Robin Anderson also is being played out of position. Is now being played as a central, a defensive midfielder. No, he's being played as a centre back. But they did well during the January transfer window. They brought in Kabak from Shakhtar. And I believe they need to build, because if some of the best midfielders are playing in defense, then it means they're short in midfield, and the build-up is quite slow, because now they have to bring in players that are not used to playing in those positions. We have some of the signings that they made during the summer season, January transfer window, also playing off position. So it's a good result. Remember, they're struggling domestically, but in the Champions League, they're doing a very, very good job. And I expect them to go all the way to the finals.
Okay. Actually, that was the next question that I was coming to, is whether you think Liverpool they still have a chance to win the league this season. I mean, they've really struggled, and looking at the way the competition is right now, you find if a team wins, say, like 2 games consecutively, probably they're at the top of the league. Look at what is happening to Chelsea at the moment. Do you think they have the stamina to go the whole way?
Chelsea, it's a struggle. The coach is still fumbling because he's giving all the players a clean sleeve, just wanting to know who is where. And at the end of the day, if you look at some of the players that are there, you don't expect N'Golo Kante to be on the bench. You don't expect Giroud to be on the bench. You don't expect Kai Havertz to be on the bench. These are some of the players that were playing full 90 minutes wherever they were. But now they come here, they're on the bench. Other people are coming in to start ahead of them. And now this is where Thomas Tuchel, managerial skills need to come in play, because managing all these players and their egos, and just to ensure, because this can only be sustained when they're winning. Because when they start losing and some of these players are on the bench, then it's going to cause problems. And that is where Frank Lampard really failed, because he could not manage the egos and the talent that was available for him to choose from game after game, week in, week out. But I don't see them sustaining the run, because they've had very, very easy fixtures. Looking forward, they're going to have very, very tough fixtures, and that may prove a challenge for them.
Okay. Switching gears to matters, Barcelona. Barcelona has really been struggling the past couple of matches. Are we seeing the dying days of Barcelona giants as we had known them? Because they dominated the Spanish La Liga for the longest season, even the Champions League. And to see Barcelona, a team like Barcelona, having the likes of Lionel Messi being thrashed 4-2 by Kylian Mbappe. Are we seeing the last days of Barcelona as a team?
I don't think we're seeing the last stages of Barcelona. I think it's a transition period. Look at Man City now. 2-3 years back, everybody was writing off Man City. And it's the same thing. When you lose some of your key players, you have to have that transition period. They're in that transition period. But at the same time, Messi is not happy. Messi wanted to leave. Things have been leaking about his contract and stuff. Is not settled. And remember, he wanted to come to City. He wanted to reunite with Pep Guardiola. And remember, when Koeman was being appointed as Barcelona coach, they were not happy about the appointment, because they wanted somebody else. And if you listen to the rumors going around, they are trying to look at Andre Iniesta to bring him back as the coach, because remember, he understands the culture, the philosophy, having played there for close to 15 years. So I think it's a done deal for Barcelona in terms of Champions League, but you cannot write them off, because remember the same fixture last year but one. They went back to the Nou Camp and they scored 6 goals. So we cannot write them off, but if you look at Pochettino with his team, PSG, not having Neymar, Di Maria on the squad, and such performance, it's a big motivation, and that is what is brought in to do, win leagues, win champions, win trophies. And remember, PSG Champions League is what has eluded them for a very long time, and this may be a perfect time for them to go all the way and win, because teams are not settled. Teams are producing very, very mixed results, and it may be a good time for them. And for Barcelona, they did bad by sending Suarez away. Look at what he's doing in Atletico. Their rivals, he scored even against Barcelona. So it's coming back to haunt them, but I believe it's a transition period. Even if you look across town, Real Madrid, same. It's a transition period.
Okay. Switching gears from the Spanish La Liga, there's a giant or a player who's causing sleepless night in the German Bundesliga, that is Erling Haaland. There's been conversation about the possibility of him probably making a transfer into the English Premier League. Do you think the English Premier League is where he needs to be for him to be the star that he is?
The English Premier League is the best league in the world. So everybody wants to play in England. Remember Arsenal's situation with Thomas Partey. Partey just wanted to play in England. So I think Yes, that transition is coming for him, and I think talks have started, whether it's Chelsea, whether it's Man City, whether it's Manchester United. Remember, all these teams don't have a striker per se. Remember, Manchester United have brought in Cavani, but remember, Cavani is 35 years of age.
His time is running out.
Yeah, his time is running out, so they better bring in a youngster. Man City, again, Aguero. They're saying that this may be his last final year. Again, Chelsea, they don't have a finisher, because if you look at all their three strikers from Giroud,
Pulisic.
Not Pulisic. This other guy, I've forgotten his name. But if you look at the three strikers combined, they cannot do what Haaland is doing at Borussia Dortmund. And I believe their technical director is always keen for this. And even today, he came out clear and said that there's no buyout clause for Haaland. But at the end of the day, we know it's going to be in the region of 200, 300 euros.
Okay, so if it was up to you, which team would you think Haaland should go to?
I'll say Arsenal, because again, also as Aubameyang is also coming to the last years of his career. Again, we know Arsenal, they're not a spending team at the end of the day. So I believe he'll switch to Man City. And I think these being the final years of Pep Guardiola, Man City, they only need the Champions League, and that is what he needs, even him. When you look at his conversation and everything, yes, winning domestic is fine, but the Champions League is the ultimate thing, and that is why they wanted Messi back, or he wanted Messi. Remember, he traveled, even went to Barcelona, have dinner with Messi during the off-season, and those are some of the talks. So we may see the two players teaming up and just playing for City, because I know City are going to spend in the summer.
But truth be told, that is going to be a very crazy combination if they were ever to play in the same team. Now, quickly before we dive into matters basketball, let us just talk briefly about the UEFA Europa League, where Arsenal is playing at the moment, also Manchester United. The following is how the fixture stacked up. That is Lille versus Ajax 1-2, Benfica versus Arsenal, that is 1-1. That has caused Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to be criticized highly for missing that important goal that Arsenal needed to win that particular match. Then Mobile versus Hoffenheim, the game ended 3-3. Then Tel Aviv versus Shakhtar Donetsk, the game ended 2-0 in favor of Shakhtar Donetsk. And then Antwerp versus Rangers, and then Granada versus Napoli, and then Real Sociedad versus Manchester United. Briefly, as we summarize the second part of the show, Zedi, the performance by Real Sociedad versus Manchester United, was it a scoreline that you expected?
Yeah, I expect that whenever Bruno Fernandes is in the starting lineup for Manchester United, you expect nothing but Manchester to win. And again, it was another beautiful showpiece from Bruno Fernandes. I think Manchester United were lucky to bring him on board. He has really changed the culture, the attitude, the vigor that Manchester is playing. The only problem is, if he gets injured at this particular time of the season, will Manchester be able to just keep up with the momentum and everything? Remember, whenever Ole Gunnar has made him sit down or rest, they have struggled, but he has come in to produce the firepower that they need. So I expect them to win. They're very, very clinical. He's very, very clinical, very, very talented. He knows how to bring in the Martials, the Greenwood into play. And yeah, it was another beautiful showpiece from Bruno Fernandes.
Okay. Our cameraman, that is Tobiko, doesn't like it when Arsenal prospers. So I'm pretty sure the performance by Arsenal sort of made him happy because Arsenal did not win. Quickly about Benfica versus Arsenal. What did you expect from that game? Were we to win that, or it was all in the wind? I mean.
Yeah, Arsenal had everything to go for in that game. Remember, we had 3 clean chances that we didn't take. We were supposed to be very, very clinical, starting with the Aubameyang. Bukayo Saka had a chance, again, Aubameyang. So we just need to be clinical. Remember, Benfica playing a very, very high line, so we just need to be quick with our passes. Remember, we had like 7-6 offsides, traps caught on us. You kept on seeing Aubameyang just telling them a little bit. You could hear Arteta saying from the sideline, faster, faster, faster. It means we need to have very, very quick passes. Remember, the return fixture, again, it's not at home. We also have to travel away to, I think, Greece. Having played Manchester City over the weekend, so it's gonna be a tall order, because again after that we're gonna play Leicester. So it's a game that we need to go there and win, but it was still a good result, having scored 1 goal, so it's away advantage. So we just need to be very, very clinical, and remember, we only had 1 mistake and they punished us, and that was the handball that Smith Rowe had, and it was a penalty. But I do believe in the return fixture we're going to see some changes. Mikael tried to play the same team that played over the weekend and got a 4-2 win against Leeds. And I think he needed to have brought maybe Martinelli. He needed to have brought Pepe early enough so that we are more direct from both flanks. Remember, at some point, Smith Rowe got tired and we are not direct enough. But I expect a good result in the second leg.
Interesting you mentioned the mistake. As they say in football, a mistake is punished and an effort is equally rewarded. Maybe just before we go for the break, Zedi, quick one. There are controversial penalties that were awarded and failed to be awarded in the Champions League. That is the game between Barcelona versus PSG. There was a penalty that was awarded to Barcelona, which Pochettino sort of felt like it was not supposed to be there. VAR, is it helping football or it is just creating drama for no reason?
VAR, I can say, in other occasions, it's really doing a good job, but in others, very, very mixed reaction. Same incident, it takes you back to where Luiz was being sent off for Arsenal. Same thing, because they were saying if he had tackled or gone for the ball, then it's a yellow card, it's not a red card. But he was running across him, then it's a what? It's a red card. Same thing to the Barcelona thing. There was a slight knock of legs. It made him fall down, go down in the penalty. Yeah,
which if you look at that particular clip, he knocked onto himself. You know, he tripped himself.
He tripped himself, but again, the defender, was he playing the ball? Was he not playing the ball? So at the end of the day, VAR, there are a lot of loopholes, but I think they're reviewing them. And I believe as we move on, they may be able to correct the changes, but I think it's helping football because games are now being won on small margins.
No machine has the efficiency of 100% is what they say on the streets. Well, that wraps up the second part of the show. We take a short commercial break. Then after the break, we are going to be talking matters the NBA. See you after the break.